This is my reflection video for day 70 and 71 in my 100-day experiment with adding silence to the day. The llamas have joined me out here in the field, or I joined the llamas. I like to find different places to record these little reflections for you. One, just to make it interesting, but also it's a way for me to be with the morning and be with my animals. This is Annabelle right behind me, and Lana is right next to me waiting for me to scratch her back. And actually that's what Annabelle would like too. They enjoy the intention that comes when I go live for a broadcast or to record a video, so I'm guessing you can tell that. I was in silence this morning, early this morning, as a part of my routine, and I'm beginning to realize that it is feeling routine. It's just a natural part of my morning. And that didn't happen for me right away. You know, in the first 14 days or 21 days, sometimes you hear people talk about the number of days you need to do something to get it feeling a part of your routine. It's taken longer than that for me. But I also feel like this isn't a process that you should force. And I've been trying not to do that. There are times when I have missed a day, and I have just forgiven myself for that and said, you know what? I can either add silence later in the day, this evening, or start again tomorrow. That's only happened a time or two for me throughout this process. But I definitely am feeling now that it's part of the routine. And I think that my brain appreciates that. I brought out with me my journal of ideas. I love capturing ideas. And I love this journal because it actually has the word ideas on the front. And it's just blank pages. I used the advice of a YouTuber named Clark Kegley. And he suggested that you take a look at the number of days that you might have left in your life. You know, none of us know what day we're going to get called home. But I don't know why, but I picked the age of 90, I guess because my mom lived to be 99. I've calculated the number of days I would have left and wrote that in the front of my idea journal. When I open it, I see that number of days on the inside cover. And I don't know, that's just kind of motivating to me, that each day I would like to improve a little bit on the day before. I've heard people talk about a 1% improvement, you know, not seeking to be something completely different than who you were the day before, but small increments of change or improvement. Might just be change. Might not always be improvement. Might be something else for you. I love to keep learning. Well, I guess I'm going down this path partly because it's the end of the year and I kind of feel like recapping the year 2021, but also to share that the process of adding silence to the morning routine has really made it the ideas have been flowing like crazy, and I've put a lot of things in here. One of the things he does, instead of journaling each day, what happens when you just track through your journal chronologically like that, your ideas kind of get lost in the mix, or maybe they're not all ideas, but things that you want to look back on and reflect are hard to find. So he puts categories in his journal, and I've done that with mine. Mine's separated by music business ideas, podcasting episode ideas, things I'd like to include in my next keynote talk, notes from a book that I've read. So I was reading through John Lee Dumas's latest book. His last name is Dumas. So I was taking notes about his book as I was reading it. And I'll probably turn that into a podcast episode for my show at some point. And then I also have a section of my favorite quotes or just favorite thoughts from my journal. So I'll move them from one page over to that favorites page. So that's really easy. If I just want to do a quick reflection in my journal, I can just go to that page and see what I've collected. So that's a neat way for collecting your thoughts and ideas throughout the year in a more organized fashion. And I encourage you to give that a try if you like journaling. Instead of just writing down the date and writing your thoughts for that day, put your thoughts in the various categories in your journal. Maybe that's a little better for this business journaling than if you're simply trying to get the thoughts out of your head. That's kind of a different type of journaling. And I've done that kind of journaling before as well. If you are interested in that style of journaling, you can do a search in YouTube under the name Kegley and Business Journal, and I have a feeling his video will pop up, but I'll also list it down below in the description so you can refer to it if you're interested. I'll stop with that. They're just some ideas for you for going into this new year. I do encourage you to look back on milestones, good and bad, of this past year, and just, if you need to think about them for a little bit, lean into them for 5 minutes, embrace them. You'll find that, especially the things that are hurtful, when you embrace them for a few moments like that, you free them. That's what I'm finding. And this process of spending time in silence, sometimes hurtful things come up. Various emotions. I've mentioned in the past grief I've been processing from the loss of my mom this year. She died a couple of months ago. Maybe there's heartache in your life. Maybe a relationship that you're struggling with. Maybe you were dealing with a little bit of anxiety about something or some depression. Being silent helps you come back into the present moment. And when you're focused there, when you're focused on your heart, those other things just drift away. It's hard to look back into the past and get depressed about something that happened in the past, or to have anxiety about something that's coming in the future when you're focused right here. That's what I'm going to be working on for this coming year in my music, in my writing, in my work with my clients, in my preparation for talks that I'll be giving. I'm going to stay focused right here. Join me in doing that.